Welcome everyone to the November 17th meeting of the Minneapolis Bicycle Advisory Committee. Notice this meeting may involve the remote participation by members, either by telephone or other electronic means, due to the local public health emergency novel coronavirus pandemic pursuant to the provisions of Minnesota State Statutes, section 13D.021. Welcome everybody, glad to have you here today. We will start off with having Millicent call the roll.
Hello everybody. Aaron?
Here.
Abdi? Adrian?
Here.
Armand? Bree? Dan Booty?
Here.
Miller, he said he won't be here today. Deanna?
Here.
Alyssa?
Here.
Brianna? Greg Souter? Heather?
Here.
Tyler?
Here.
Dennis?
Here.
Jennifer?
Here.
Essie?
Here.
Joey? Carl Hedlund?
Here.
Jordan?
Here.
Cadence?
Here.
Kyle? Marty?
Here.
Matthew Hendricks? Maya?
Here. Here.
Natalie?
Here.
Philip?
Here.
Steve Elmer? Matthew Deardahl?
Here.
Artheiser?
Here.
Wilson Flowers, I'm here. Robin, are you here?
I am, yeah.
So we have 21 present.
Is there anyone?
This is Matthew Hendricks. I'm joining late, but I'm here.
Okay, I'll mark you down.
Thank you.
We have 22.
Thanks, Millicent. Anybody else who missed their name when roll was called or was not called and would like to introduce themselves? Okay, I think that's everybody then. Thanks. I would entertain a motion to adopt the agenda and accept the October 27th full BAC minutes.
So moved, Dan Booty.
Oh, no, I'll second that, Aaron.
Thanks. Any discussion? Seeing none and hearing none, I will have Millicent call the roll.
Okay, Aaron?
Aye.
Adrian?
Aye.
Dan Booty?
Aye.
Deanna?
Aye.
Alyssa, I'm just going to call you and you say whatever it is you want to say.
I will approve.
Awesome. Okay. Heather?
Aye.
Tyler?
Aye.
Tyler? I'm sorry, can you say it one more time? I think I overspoke you.
Tyler? Aye.
Okay. Janice?
Aye.
Jennifer?
Was I called? This is Jenny Borden. Aye.
Okay. Jesse?
Aye.
Carl?
Aye.
Jordan? Jordan?
I don't want
Aye.
to take away
Okay. Cadence?
Aye.
Sorry. Marty?
Aye.
Matthew Hendricks?
Aye.
Maya?
Aye.
Natalie?
Aye.
Philip,
Aye.
Robin,
Aye.
Matthew Deardahl.
Aye.
Great, we have 20 yes.
Thank you, Millicent. We have sort of a short agenda today. There are a lot of actions under the engineering subcommittee report, but because we didn't have a 5E subcommittee meeting this month, we hopefully will get to end a little early today. Marty is going to be leading us through the engineering subcommittee report. And Marty, is this your first time going it solo?
Yes.
Well, you have me and Philip as backup on procedural stuff if you need support, but I am very excited that you are going to be doing our engineering subcommittee report today. So,
Oh,
that,
not as much as I am. All right. Hey, everybody. Engineering committee minutes here. And hey, I just wanted to say real quick, anybody that's on the engineering committee, if you feel like you want to chime in, you can. We have like 4 different projects that were coming up and 3 have motions. So, Alyssa, should I do the motions first or should I go through a little explanation of each one?
I think it's useful to do like a very short explanation of each one before you jump into the motion, so people have some context for any discussion that doesn't appear in the notes.
All right. Thank you. All right. So the first one is Hennepin Avenue, First Avenue Northeast. It's a multi-model improvement. It was led by Ross Tillman. And at their last presentation, we told them as a committee that we wanted a one-way bike lane to be a 2-way lane. And so they shared 2 concepts with us that we took a look at. This is a federally funded deal. And the concept 1 would have 3 travel lanes. Concept 2 had 2 travel lanes. And basically, we had already agreed to, and can somebody in the engineering committee help me with this? Did we decide on concept 2?
Yes.
All right, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we did.
Matthew H. gave us a motion for that. I don't know if people need any more information about it. It has been pushed back to construction from 2023 to 2024 because of the E-Line BRT project. So, should I read the motion?
I just had a quick question. I noticed that the with the bus lane is marked as it is on Hennepin with red paint. Does that imply it's a bus only from morning and evening commute? I wasn't at the meeting, so.
Can anybody help answer that question?
That's
Jordan
actually
from
a really
Hennepin County.
okay.
As far as I understand it, it would be all the time bus only lane. I'm not 100% on that, but I feel pretty confident.
Oh, okay. So it's different than Hennepin Avenue, or at least currently Hennepin Avenue.
I guess maybe the other thing I'll say is that I think it still is ongoing, the coordination with Metro Transit. So possibly once they actually arrive on the preferred concept, then they might get more specific about that kind of detail as well.
Okay, thanks.
And maybe just for some additional context in case, bus lanes are fairly new. So typically bus lanes will either be, 24/7 full time or in the peak time, which would be like a rush hour, couple hour period. And then other times of the day could be used for parking or travel, general purpose travel, that type of thing.
Okay.
Thanks for that question, Philip. Anybody else have a question? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go with the motion then. The BAC recommends that the Hennepin Avenue, First Avenue Northeast Model Improvement team pursue concept 2 because it includes a curb protected bikeway and a dedicated transit lane. We also put in there that concept one lacks both of the features, and by taking a very minimalist approach to any of these changes from existing conditions, it fails to fulfill the promise of a major project as far as safety goes. But we do commend the team on their proposal for improving and simplifying the intersection of 5th Street with Hennepin Central. All right, what are we thinking?
I will just jump in. Marty, there was a sentence you omitted, and because we have someone calling in and they can't see the screen, you do need to read that if it's going to be part of the motion. If you're proposing that it be stricken from the motion, then you don't have to, but otherwise that second to last sentence would be needed to be read.
Okay. We recommend that any further pursuit of concept one be discontinued and that further community engagement focus on variations of concept two.
Thanks, Marty. Do we have a second for this motion?
This is Aaron. I'll second it.
Any discussion? I see Matthew Hendricks is coming off mute.
I was just going to give a little bit of kind of long range background on this, where this motion came from my perspective. So it's really an interesting situation because for many years, not that long ago, getting any kind of a bike lane would have been considered a win. And, you know, not that long ago, we were just looking at bike lane miles, and bike lanes were considered sort of the peak of what could be accomplished, especially on a busy street like this. And when I say not that long ago, I mean in the scope of, you know, decades of looking at streets. So it's not without precedent to see a street proposed with a bike lane, just put it that way. However, about, I want to say 6 or 7 years ago, things started to shift towards protected bike lanes as being recognized as a lot more effective. Some of the issues with standard or what were previously standard bike lanes are that it provides no more protection to a bicyclist than just the line of paint on the ground, and so there's really nothing preventing motor vehicles from you know, sweeping over to the bike lane. There's no kind of physical barrier separating the bike lane from fast-moving traffic. Other issues with just a painted bike lane with no physical protection include the fact that the bike lane often gets used as de facto snow storage space for much of the winter. And if the snow isn't stored directly in the bike lane, oftentimes snow is stored in the parking lane, and then the parked cars encroach on the bike lane significantly, sometimes entirely. So there's challenges with winter maintenance on standard bike lanes that haven't been really adequately addressed over the years. And there are a number of other issues. I think the quickest way to summarize it all would be to say, especially for the population of more cautious or new bicyclists, bike lanes on busy streets aren't necessarily enough of an infrastructure change to make people comfortable switching over to biking or to biking on those routes. So that's kind of the background to why I think this is a really important motion, and I think it's really important that for these corridors, which are quite busy but also have many destinations that are, you know, within reach of a lot of people in terms of distance, that, you know, they're perfect destinations to bike to. Getting really the best possible bike infrastructure makes sense here. And I think Matthew Deardahl might be up for sharing a little more detail on the technical side of what I was sharing.
Yeah, you know, I think there's some interesting conversation at the subcommittee about the two options, and I just wanted to sort of agree with the way Matthew framed kind of the difference between the two. You know, I started in this job in 2015 when we were updating, or we were adding like an addendum basically to the 2011 bicycle master plan, because we were hearing from more and more people that they just simply do not feel comfortable without some physical or vertical separation from cars. And so we, you know, passed the 2015 Protected Bikeway plan and have been building those. And then when we went to develop the Transportation Action Plan, the biking component had, I think by a fair margin, the most comments on any of the topics. And one of the central themes, I think the main theme from that is even bollards aren't enough, and we should really be providing, concrete, in our protected bikeways, and so just more of an emphasis on that physical separation. So I just think there's a lot of room for different opinions on the two options, totally. And I'll just note that I think they're very, very different. So I support this motion from that perspective. And the transit lane is awesome as well.
Thanks, Matthew. I see Deanna's hand is up.
Yeah, I was at the committee, but I don't remember them saying how wide the lane would be, the bike lane. Did anybody note that?
I have it up. Are you?
I think it was 6 feet.
I think it's 6 feet
Okay,
plus
yeah.
the gutter pan.
Okay.
So
And then
I guess
five
I'm
foot-
asking because my experiences with the narrow lanes have not been very good in terms of getting them cleaned and maintained and that kind of thing. 6 feet is large. I walked over to the 10th Avenue opening the other day, yesterday, and I was just like, wow, isn't that beautiful? So I think I've come around. I think I had an epiphany, and maybe I can begin to support these.
Well, and something I love the detail that we're talking about, because I show like a 6 foot bike lane plus 5 foot buffer in the drawing, and then within that buffer I see the concrete, which is typically 2 feet wide. And Jordan, I don't know if that's how that's envisioned. So I mean that there will be more than 6 feet of space from the curb to the other curb, if that makes sense. I think, because the 2 foot buffer will probably be in the middle, or sorry, the 2 foot concrete will be within the middle of that 5 foot buffer. So you'll get probably an extra 1.5 feet or something like that, 2 feet maybe. So I think it'll be plenty wide to clear and to bike, hopefully side by side and things like that. Did I get anything wrong there technically, Jordan?
I'm not sure if I followed it 100%, but I'll just say that where the curb is, that gutter pan is typically 2 feet wide, and that would be not included in the 6 foot that you were shown likely. And then, Matthew, I think you were also saying to the concrete curb that separates bikes from moving vehicles, there also would, I think, be a clear space there of at least a foot, if not 2 feet.
Right. So it'll be a little bit. It won't feel like a super narrow space. Is what I. That's all.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead with the next, if that's okay. 53rd Avenue North Bikeway.
Hold on, Marty. Are we gonna vote on all the actions all together?
I think today, since we have a lighter agenda and we're not crunched for time, let's vote on them separately, so we can, if anybody has to drop off early, that we can wrap some things up. So, Millicent, would you be willing to call the roll on this motion?
Yes. All right, so Aaron?
Aye.
Adrian?
Aye.
Dan Booty?
Aye.
Deanna?
Aye.
Heather?
Aye.
Tyler?
Aye.
Janice?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Aye.
Jesse?
Abstain.
Carl?
Aye.
Jordan?
Abstain.
Cadence?
Aye.
Aye.
Matthew Hendricks?
Aye.
Maya?
Aye.
Natalie?
Aye.
Aye.
Robin?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Matthew Deardahl,
Aye.
Melissa?
I will abstain. Thanks.
Right, 3 abstentions and 18 yes.
Okay, let's rock and roll the next one. 53rd Avenue North Bikeway. Millicent, can you get that up for me?
1 second.
Okay. Presented by Jasna Hadzik Stanek, Minneapolis Public Works. Okay, the 53rd Avenue North Bikeway is a resurfacing project now at 30 to 60%. It extends from Penn Avenue to Lindale Avenue. 53rd Avenue serves as a border between Minneapolis and Brooklyn Center. Taking advantage of resurfacing to improve safety and provide a low-stress bike connection to the river. It is a wide road with high number of crashes for the number of vehicles. The plan includes a 7-foot bike lane with a 1.5-foot buffer on both sides of the road from Penn to Humboldt, and one 13 feet two-way boulder protected bikeway from Humboldt to Lindale. At our last meeting, Janice had a motion to support that project, so I'm not quite sure how we move on from that. The motion was, second, the Minneapolis Bicycle Advisory Committee supports the 53rd Avenue North Bikeway project as presented.
So that motion. Looking for a second.
Maya seconds it.
All right, discussion. Philip?
I just had a couple of questions again. I wasn't able to be there for the presentation. I looked at the PDF. There's at Fremont, there's a travel lane which is 17 feet, which I didn't quite understand why a travel lane would balloon out to being that wide. So that was sort of just one question. And then it looked like there were only two blocks where parking would be allowed. I think it was on the north side, and that in looking at the aerial, it's like, well, this is not commercial. I was just sort of surprised, and the questions are just because as a bicyclist, when you're confronted with these different, I mean, anything other than just sort of block after block of the same is, can be a little disorienting just to certainly new bicyclists. So I was just curious about those two things. They're not a big deal, but they just jumped out as being slightly odd to me.
Bill, I'm trying to keep up. Where did you say the 17-foot lane was?
At Fremont Avenue, so Fremont and 53rd. Or, cross section was given, and my notes, I don't have it up myself, but I jotted down that all of a sudden it was a 17-foot travel lane, which
I think that 17 is 7 parking, 10 travel.
Oh, so they didn't. Okay.
That would be I believe so, because that 10, 20, 27, 30. Anyway, maybe.
Okay, that would make more sense.
Okay.
That would certainly make more sense. And it's certainly great. I mean, it's really great to see the the parking, which is just underutilized. Fewer parking, but I would probably just take those 2 blocks and skip the parking there, but not a big deal. I'm certainly in favor of the motion. We should.
I'm gonna check into what you're saying because I might be wrong, but yeah.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Sure, that's good enough.
Any other discussion? hearing none. Millicent, if you would call the roll.
All right, Aaron,
Aye.
Adrian,
Aye.
Booty,
Aye.
Deanna,
Aye.
Heather,
Aye.
thank you. Tyler,
Aye.
Janice,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Aye.
C,
Abstain.
Carl.
Aye.
All right, Jordan,
Aye.
Cadence,
Aye.
Marty,
Aye.
Matthew Hendricks,
Aye.
Maya,
Aye.
Natalie,
Aye.
Philip,
Aye.
Robin,
Aye.
Steve,
Abstain.
Matthew Deardahl,
Yes.
and Alyssa.
Abstain.
Great. 3 abstentions and 18 yes.
Dan Booty, I see a hand up.
Yeah, I was just looking at the slides, and I don't know, Philip, if this is where you got the 17-foot, but the one that's the fact sheet has a typical cross-section of existing conditions, and it shows a 17-foot westbound travel lane, and it says it's at Fremont, so maybe that's where it came from.
Oh, and that's the typical existing.
I think so.
My error. Okay. Thanks for checking, Dan.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay, let's go on to the West 58th Street Sunrise Drive Bikeway, presented by Kristen Zimmerman. This is currently at 30%. Is a project is a mill and overlay along Sunrise from West 60th Street to West 58th Street and 58th Street from Sunrise to Highway 121. The goal of this project is to improve safety and connectivity. The plan adds 6-foot bike lanes on both sides of the road with 2-foot buffers. On Sunrise, the bowler protected on the west side, but parking maintained on the east side, so no bowlers will be there. On 58th Street, parking is removed, so bike lane is bowler protected on both sides. Bike crossing of 121 will have some protection. And we, as a bicycle, we're hoping that we can take this motion as we support it the way it is presented.
So looking for a second for that motion.
This is Aaron. I'll second it.
Thanks, Aaron. Any discussion?
I could just say something about the 121 crossing. I was pretty happy given their restraints, since it's not city owned and there's no change as far as the structure of the road. If you take a look at the cross section, it's just kind of a nice, kind of best we can do approach. But the city, the planner, I forget the name of the person who presented, but they had talked about the future of that intersection and hopefully making it something much, much better and safer. So just something to keep an eye on.
And it's Christian Zimmerman was the planner.
Thanks.
Any other discussion? All right, hearing and seeing none. Millicent, if you would call the roll.
Aaron,
Aye.
Adrian,
Aye.
Dan Booty,
Aye.
Deanna,
Aye.
Heather,
Aye.
Tyler,
Aye.
Dennis, Janice,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Aye.
Bessie,
Abstain.
Carl,
Aye.
Jordan,
Aye.
Cadence,
Aye.
Marty,
Aye.
Hugh Hendricks,
Aye.
Maya,
Aye.
Natalie,
Aye.
Aye, Philip.
Robin,
Aye.
Steve,
Abstain.
Matthew Deardahl,
Yes.
Melissa,
Abstain.
some 18 yes and 3 abstentions.
Okay, I'm going to continue on. All right, the next one is concrete road rehab project presented by Kristen Zimmerman. It's going to be, the city's going to repair concrete streets starting in 2022. There's going to be 2 intersections where they hope to improve the safety of the geometry at the Minnehaha Avenue at East Franklin Avenue and Minnehaha at 21st Avenue South. Kristen's going to be bringing this proposal back to us in late winter. So look and see. So basically, I don't know if we have any motions to go with that.
No motion.
No motion to go with that. So I'll go on to the next one. West 40th Street Bikeway presented by Dan Edgerton. Project extends from Kings Highway to Stevens Avenue. The plan adds bikeways as part of the Seal Coat project, replacing 2 existing striped bike lanes with a 2-way bollard protected bikeway on the south side of the street. The timeline is going to be installed in July or August of 2022. It's at 30% right now. They plan to finalize it by the end of the year. They do not have any plan to come back and present this to the BAC. Aaron S. said extra protection might be needed since cars currently park in the bike lane after coming out of the car wash on the north side of Nicollet. So we would make a motion to support the project and suggest an extra protection at Nicollet to prevent cars exiting the car wash from parking on the bikeway. I hope that was clear. I felt like it wasn't clear. Let me know if I wasn't clear.
I think that was good. Would anyone like the motion repeated? Seeing none, looking for a second for this motion.
Maya seconds.
Thanks, Maya. Discussion.
If I may, I think an aspect of this might have been a little bit undersold by Dan, the project manager. So I want to maybe sell it a little more too. This connection was on our AAA network map, but it was not programmed at all. And so to me, it's fairly responsive to something that we've heard from the Pedestrian Advisory Committee and Bicycle Advisory Committee for years, which is to be responsive and move quickly to make things like this happen. And with the Bryant Avenue reconstruct and the work on Blaisdell and Grand and some of the intersection geometries that were included for this particular route, I think the decision to just go ahead and design it and install it the next year is somewhat unprecedented, maybe in this way. And I think it's very responsive. So I just wanted to note that both from my employer's perspective, but also I think you all have a lot to do with that type of response to an opportunity like this. So I don't know if that makes sense, but I think this is a very, very exciting project from that perspective.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thanks, Matthew. I would agree. It feels like it has been a long time coming in terms of getting folks to be able to just do some good stuff and not have it take 4 or 5 years. So, Philip?
Yeah, I really wanted to commend staff for having the parking analysis. I think this is the most thorough data we've seen in one of these presentations. And while I think parking is important to the point of for elderly, for small business people, we know we need parking, but this just yet again shows that we simply have too much parking, and especially parking paid for by the public for private vehicles. So I think showing the data and showing that it's not a problem, which in this case too, remove parking along. So I think this was just great to see the data. Really appreciate it.
Okay, I'm going to go with our last one. City View School Safe Routes to.
Marty.
Yeah.
We got
We do have to vote on the motion.
Oh, sorry about that.
No worries. That's what I'm here for, is the Robert's Rules boring stuff. So Millicent, if you could call the roll for the motion. Thank you.
Okay. Aaron?
Aye.
Adrian?
Aye.
Dan Booty?
Aye.
Deanna?
Aye.
Heather?
Aye.
Tyler?
Aye.
Janice?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Aye.
Jesse?
Abstain.
Carl?
Aye.
Aye.
Vince?
Aye.
Marty? Got to vote, Marty?
Aye.
Okay. Matthew Hendricks?
Aye.
Maya?
Aye.
Adley?
Aye.
Philip?
Aye.
Robin?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Matthew Deardahl?
Yes.
Alyssa?
I abstain. Thanks, Millicent.
Great. 2 abstentions and 19 yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm still kind of in school mode. I'm like, but you know how it is. Okay, anyways, City View School Safe Routes to School project presented by Bria Fast. Retrofit project at 0%. It is not a reconstruction. The project is adjacent to the City View School at 4th Street North and 34th Avenue North. Its schedule develops concepts now by 50% by January. Engagement is going to be January through April. The Safe Routes to School project with the goal of enhancing the bike network. Currently, there's a lot of parent congestion there at the drop-off spot and excessive speeding by cars on 4th Street North. They're looking for a way to calm traffic treatments for the next term or near term. Aaron S. suggested that ways to make 4th Street North not a through street, and Bria will return to the BAC in a few months with more concepts. So she'll be coming back to give us more details. So Alyssa, that's all I have.
Thank you so much, Marty. That was a very, very efficient engineering subcommittee report for having 4 motions in it. So I appreciate that. Anybody else who attended engineering subcommittee have anything before we jump on to discussion? I see Jenny's hand is up.
Thanks, Alyssa. I just was going to make a comment on the Safe Routes to School project at City View. I was able to go on the walk audit that the city sponsored, and there were some school staff, including a school board member there. So that was really great. Director Elamine was there as a resident of the area. Public safety, as I've been known to say, is a big concern, and it does affect us in Safe Routes to School, like walking and biking. The bike fleet was to be at City View this fall, and because there were so many incidents, what happens in a school, if there's an incident outside your building that could affect your safety, you get put on a code yellow, and they had so many already in September that the PE teacher just wasn't comfortable biking and said, can we wait till the spring? So just to have that, and certainly I would echo, echo the speeding and the behavior of cars and a lot of people thinking about safe walking and safe crossing. The city is also surveying the city is surveying the City View school community, and that survey kind of bubbled up to me kind of through the channels, and I was just really so glad to see that it's 0% and just engaging just working really hard to engage the school community this early in the project. So thanks, City of Minneapolis.
Thanks, Jenny. Philip.
Yeah, in just reading over the or maybe it was the PDF, the term low stress bikeway was used. Is that synonymous with AAA network? I'm not sure.
Did I use that? Did I say that, Phil?
No, it was written in the maybe it was the fact sheet for the
okay.
City View Safe Route to School.
Sure. Interestingly, so we actually had a lot of discussion about whether or not we should call the network low stress bikeway network or something like AAA, all ages and abilities. And we, to me they're synonymous. They're the same idea.
Okay.
All ages and abilities, I think we went with. That sounds maybe more positive and inclusive or something. I think it's good, but low stress is kind of like also I think a good goal for it, right? It's like standard bike lanes are high stress, right? You don't feel comfortable. There's cars next to you. It's like you kind of like holding the handlebars tight, and then if you have a protected bikeway or neighborhood greenway, it's less stressful and you're just comfortable. And so I think and like I think different national organizations like NACTO, the National Association of City Transportation Officials, it's a group of cities that has guidelines for cities on different transportation infrastructure. I think they use low stress. But anyway, I'm glad you asked that question because I sometimes say it, I think, but either way it works.
Yeah, okay, great.
Yeah.
A good reminder for us all that not all the terminology in this field is as intuitive as it seems once you've been around it a number of years. So, we will close out the engineering subcommittee report. The only item we have up for discussion is BAC social activities. So this might be 2 minutes of me talking. This might be a 20-minute discussion if people have thoughts about it. But I just wanted to check in with the committee as a whole because, at some point this summer, I think many of us had seen a potential horizon where we might be doing in-person things again sometime soon, including the Bicycle Advisory Committee meeting. And it seems pretty clear that, at least for the near term, that is off the table. And so just wanted to put it out there. I know that folks were really generally pretty excited for those of you who could make the August bike ride to have some in-person interaction in a way that felt like we were, mitigating COVID risk by being outside. And so certainly that's more challenging going into winter, thinking about how do we manage COVID risks, but just wanted to kind of check in and see if there was interest in some sort of BAC social get together, either over the winter or in the spring, because we won't have any opportunities to be meeting together in person for the foreseeable future. So just wanted to put that out there as a question. If folks have comments about that they'd like to share right now, you certainly can. I also could do something that more closely resembles a survey to send out to the membership, or we could have a deeper discussion at a 5Es meeting. But just wanted to bring it up since we had some extra time on the agenda today, and we don't usually have the luxury of being able to discuss things like this as a full group. So with that, I will be quiet for an awkwardly long time to see if anyone would like to share some thoughts.
I'd be happy to go on a winter bike ride with folks. Embrace the other months of the year.
I would too.
I would like to do it if I had those wide wheel bikes, the fat wheel bikes. I'm on board if I can get one of those.
Could it be to
Natalie,
like?
I'm on board too.
Could the bike ride be to like a certain destination, like some kind of winter themed ice thing, or like those ice sculptures or something? Or not, that's fine too. Just a bike ride is great.
I don't know if this would be a good activity, but just thinking about like what's on the calendar in the city of Minneapolis. I know that the luminary lap, it's a really popular thing to do, and we could also be pedestrians for a day as well if we wanted to bike there and then walk through as a group. I doubt the city would subsidize the cost of our participation for those tickets, but technically it's a service, right, that we're providing.
Natalie, I see you have a hand up, and Dan Booty, I saw you come off mute a couple times if you want to jump in after that.
Yeah, I like that idea just because I know, like, I'm trying out winter biking for the first time, but I know not everybody feels comfortable with that or doesn't have the gear. So that might be a nice sort of midway point where, like, if folks want to bike there or after or something like that, but we could still meet up and go look at sculptures or what have you. That seems like a cool idea. I like that thought process.
If we are going to do that, so I'll already be there at 6:30 with my family, but if people want to buy tickets as a group, especially like at the same time slot, that would be something to probably organize soon, because those tickets do, like, the time slots fill up and it can be hard to get them as you get closer. But I would also be in favor of any sort of winter biking or social activity. That was really fun this summer when we did that. It was great to see everybody and talk to everybody, so definitely would be into that at any point.
Cool. I don't see any other folks jumping off of mute. So I think what I would ask is if anybody is interested in being part of the, what I will loosely call the planning committee, which is probably going to be like 2 or 3 people. But if you would be interested in helping figure out what our winter social thing might be, where we might start and end, and if there's an activity, you can either raise your hand using the Teams function now, or if you want to send me an email after the meeting. I imagine we're probably not going to be doing something. I don't even know when the Luminary Loppet starts happening or ends date-wise. Is that like before the end of the year, or is it in January, February? Okay, January, February feels like probably a more feasible time frame, and that will be, you know, nice because it's 6 months out from our August ride. So, so not urgent, but would like to get started on planning that at some point in December or January. So, if you are interested in being part of the planning team, would love to have at least 1 or 2 folks jump in on that. I see Cadence's hand up, and Jesse. Yes, okay. And Maya. And Natalie. Cadence, if you could make sure you grab everyone's name in the minutes, because I don't have a pen, that would help me make sure I actually follow up with everybody. Thank you. Cool. Well, I'm excited that I won't have to go a whole year before seeing all of you in person again. If you have thoughts or ideas on anything, feel free to reach out to any of the folks who just volunteered. If you have an idea, but you aren't really the person to, you don't want to be part of the logistics of making things happen. But otherwise, look for an update from that group sometime in January, February timeframe. Cool. And then I will just close by saying, if there are other social activities that folks would like to propose, certainly, like, we could do things that are more formal like this. But we definitely used to have, when we met in person, people would just like organize a happy hour after a meeting, and it wasn't as though the chair or Matthew or anyone was like involved in formally planning that. People would just invite people at the meeting, and people would go or not go as they were available. So if other folks would like to continue to organize social things outside of this sort of more planned structure, you certainly are welcome to say, like, does anybody want to, go grab a beer someplace at some point and organize social activities yourselves. I'm not I don't want to be a gatekeeper of that. So just a reminder. Cadence, do you have something else to add?
I mean, if people are interested in a bike-related social event that's geared towards spectating, it's state cyclocross championships this weekend up in Bassett Creek Park, Lions Valley. They're both, the parks are like next to each other, and it's very bikeable if you were biking from the cities there. but it's the last event of the year on the calendar for that discipline. So I'll be there if anyone else is.
Alyssa, I was going to just ask, or maybe Matthew, ask whatever happened to the state legislation that was constraining commission members to, if they participated remotely, they had to be in a public space, yada, yada. Thinking that maybe eventually, well, of course, we're going to go back to in-person, but in-person perhaps with hybrid, depending on the technology
Yeah.
City of Minneapolis has. So
I'll start and then see if Chris or Milson has anything to add or correct. All of that is still underlying as a future near-term issue, meaning the state law is a thing, but since the city has extended the COVID emergency at the local level, we can continue doing this until that expires, which there's no evidence or thought that that'll be anytime soon that I've heard. So at some point in 2022, I imagine we'll totally have to revisit how we do the meetings and follow the law, but the city clerk's office will give us guidance on that as it happens. Anything to add or clarify, correct, Chris Milson?
Yeah, just one thing you asked about hybrid scenario. I think just to be real about that is like the way that it's structured now, there probably won't be a hybrid scenario unless there's a change in that state law, just because of kind of the barriers that state law puts in place to doing that. So I would expect that once the emergency order ends, it would just be a fully in-person, no online option for members, at least.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Not
but
it's but still and still useful information. Thanks for the update, staff. And thanks for that question, Phil. Cool. All right, I think I'm going to close out discussion on BAC social activities, but I'm very excited to start planning some stuff and do some more impromptu things if folks are interested in that. That is the last item on our agenda. So with that, I will open it up for announcements.
Well, I would jump in and just say that I've been in contact with Dan Miller, and he contacted a few of us. So his mother did die, so he's not here today, and so certainly thoughts with him. And also in changes, I know Robin, I don't know your status with the BAC, but it would kill me if in your change of employment with the city would prevent us from benefiting from but do you have a word about your participation on BAC going forward?
Sure, thanks, Phil. Yes, I will be leaving the BAC after the next meeting. I have been the council's representative on the BAC since this iteration of the BAC was created back in 2010, I want to say. I don't actually remember. So the council will definitely have to, I think, find someone new to put into this role. I think it's a pretty good idea in general for them to have somebody who actually works for a council member. It's actually, I think, a pretty good reminder for everybody to make contact with your appointing authority, especially if your appointing authority is new. So Phil, I think you reaching out to Robin Wansley and just everybody who is appointed by a particular council member, especially if there was turnover there, and there was a lot. I think it is going to be pretty important for folks to reach out and at least just make contact. Maybe Matthew, you can remind us when the next actual appointment process begins. Yeah.
Yes. Wait a second. When were y'all appointed? It's not this year, is it? I mean, that's not 2022. You all were appointed in 2021, the odd years, right?
No, it's an even year and it was delayed 6 months. So it should have been a start of July 2020 and then it was like February 2021. So we are up again.
Thank you. Yes, I think that's why it felt more recent. So yes, it sounds like in about the March, April timeframe is when, there'll be an application process. And again, I don't know a lot of what's going to happen with the new governing structure and all of that. One thing I do know, just to be clear, is everyone that's appointed now will stay appointed, with the change until the new application process runs through. So there's no change with that until there's an application process, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be an interesting question.
In addition to folks individually having conversations with whoever the person is who will reappoint you, if you would like to be reappointed, I think it would be wise for the body to make contact with some of the council members coming in who might be inclined to be supportive of non-motorized transportation ideas, to see if they think that it's something that they would be interested in having their staff do, or if the person that they're looking at to be their staff would be interested in doing it. It also, I mean, we have a space on the BAC for a representative from the mayor's office, and I don't remember if anybody who's on right now, maybe Matthew Hendricks, remembers back when Peter Wagenius worked for Betsy Hodges. He didn't make every meeting, but he made most of them. And he was very active and played kind of sort of like a similar role to the role that I've played, maybe a little bit less, just like able to make every meeting. But we, under the current mayor, I think we had someone come from the mayor's office for approximately 3 or 4 meetings at the very beginning of the term back in 2018. So trying to get some like attention from this mayor and get any focus at all on issues related to transportation broadly, but non-motorized and active transportation more specifically, I think would be a good thing. I think that might be all I've got on that.
I was just
gonna... sorry, Phil, you are losing me. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. I feared. It's been really a joy and really excellent to have you with us. Many years, obviously. So
many years.
Yeah.
One more meeting, Robin?
One more meeting. Yep.
Cadence, did you want to jump in?
Oh, I just wanted to share that the park board appointed members also, our applications are due on December 3rd for reappointment, which I guess it's not as clear since the person who had been park board president was not reelected. So I'm not sure who we would reach out to.
Oh, I'll look into that. Cadence. I didn't realize that either. Okay.
Well, I will wait one meeting to wax poetic about Robin's departure, so you all don't have to hear me talk about it twice, but I am heartbroken that Robin, you will be leaving the BAC. It's going to be a rough transition, I think, for all of us, and you've done a lot of really good work. So, and I will be in touch with you shortly about whether or not you would like a goodbye party if you are really leaving. So yeah. Any other announcements?
Well, I was just I have my hand raised. This is Janice. I was going to say about both things. Robin has actually, he was, I think, on the BAC even before this iteration, if I'm not mistaken. And he was very important when we first established our bylaws. And he's actually served also as chair before we elect a chair, and kind of, when the terms start. Yeah, I guess we should talk more about Robin next time. But I was going to say he was too generous to Peter Wagenius. Now, no one likes Peter Wagenius more than I do. I really, I admire all that he's done for the city and bicycling. But as a member of the BAC, I think I could probably count on one hand the number of meetings he went to. And in fact, at one point I wrote to the mayor, and I think he was the representative when Ryback was mayor, and Ryback loved biking. So it made no sense to have a BAC representative who was a no-show. And I actually wrote to Ryback and said, you have a representative. He doesn't come to meetings. And I think then he went to one meeting then. But anyway, so I just was thinking Robin was a little bit, and then the current mayor actually did appoint someone, and I only remember I was taking minutes, and certainly at full meetings, I don't think she came to more than one full meeting when she was first appointed. But so it would be great. Maybe we should all, and maybe if the mayor got 18 letters asking, his BAC representative to actually be someone who comes to meetings. I don't know if that would make a difference. But it would be great to have a city council representative who would show up as well, as like Robin. I mean, Robin's been at every meeting. Oh, I know what else I was going to say about the park board. So the park board has been out of sync with appointments from the beginning. They make their appointments in January. Everybody else gets appointed for June. And so our appointments, I think, will be there. There are 1 applications by December, and I think an appointment will be made at the first park board meeting in January, would be my guess. And we could reach out to our representatives because everybody has a representative on the park board.
Thanks, Janice. And Matthew, I think still, if you have any follow-up information for folks on park board stuff, that would be great. All right, any other announcements? All right, seeing none, I will adjourn us. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm glad we can continue to have a couple shorter meetings towards the end of the year to balance out some of the very, very long ones we've had previously. So enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night, and I look forward to seeing you all next month.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Everyone.